Hey everybody, this is meteorologist Brad Peters for SkiSoutheast.com. We're going into another weekend, and the pattern, like we've seen for the last 2 weeks, has been really weird. We've had these big warm-ups in the middle of the week, and then we get to the weekend and some cold air is moving in. But the good news is, up in Snowshoe and Wisp and areas up in the Virginias, West Virginia, and Maryland, we actually had some pretty good snow in the middle of the week with this backdoor front, which I'm going to show you now. And this front has been sliding south into the southeast, and it's now supplying cold air. So the good news is we're getting cold air pumping in from the northeast with high pressure to the north, and actually parts of North Carolina could see a little bit of an icy, sleety kind of mix early today into the afternoon. You see that little snow moving on. But here's the good news. It's cold enough for snowmaking across most of the southeast. It should stay cold this weekend, especially at nights, as high pressure is going to be sitting over the region. What will be interesting for Super Bowl Sunday is we've got another front coming in from the west. This looked like it was going to be a more promising system about 3 or 4 days ago. Now it looks like maybe just a little bit of snow up towards Snowshoe, maybe all the way down to Winter Place, maybe to Wisp. This isn't going to be a big deal. It's more or less just going to be some cosmetic snow. But that cold front will be heading our way, and it's kind of a weak front overall. As I mentioned, the good news is there will be a little bit of snow. It's funny to see that snow near Raleigh. I actually don't think that's likely, though there could be some snow mixed in. You could see the very isolated amounts on Sunday up in the Virginias, West Virginia, and even maybe a little bit down in North Carolina. Again, not a ton of snow. It's not going to help all that much, maybe an inch or two if you're really, really lucky. It's more about the fact that it's going to be cold enough again this weekend to make snow. And that really starts today, Friday. We wake up to cold enough temperatures. Snowmaking operations could be going at most locations. They may wane a little bit today, but then tonight, going into Saturday morning, look how cold it is. Those are below freezing temperatures across all of the southeast. So great snowmaking overnight for 12, 14, 15 hours into Saturday morning. In fact, the snowmaking could probably go into the afternoons in many locations because it will be cold enough. And then Saturday night, it stays cold enough into Sunday morning. So snowmaking will be great this weekend. Now, long range, what's going to happen here in the next 24 to 36 hours is just a brief shot of cold air. We talked about this earlier this week. You see the cold air settling in for Sunday. But just like this week, look at this huge warm-up for Tuesday and Wednesday. Big surge of moisture. But what really catches my eye is this massive low. And I'm going to change the color of my pen here so it's easier to see. But this massive low over the Great Lakes, and there'll be a powerhouse cold front trailing and a lot of cold air that's going to try to spill in on the backside. So as I put this into motion, you can see that cold front arrives. Looks like Wednesday, probably into Wednesday night. So maybe some strong storms with that front. But look at the cold air that comes invading into the southeast by Thursday. And as we go later in the week, that cold air just gets more entrenched and deeper. So just like this week, there will be another brief warm up next week, but there's more cold air heading our way for next weekend, which brings me to the next thing, which is what's kind of interesting going into next weekend. That there are some subtle signs that we could see maybe a potential winter storm in the southeast. But we're getting into the time range that I don't really have a lot of confidence in, and I don't think is really all that realistic. But I'll show you anyways, because let's face it, this is going to be a crazy month of ups and downs. So we got to face that we're going to see some mild conditions. But let's talk about the good conditions first. So here comes our weekend system. Quick out, move very quickly. Big warm up next week. All right, we talked about this. Here comes rain for Tuesday, Wednesday, and this will be rain for all the southeast, by the way, even all the way up to our northern parts. But by Wednesday, we've got an Arctic front moving through, and there will be snow and maybe some ice on the backside. And then we go towards Wednesday night into Thursday, a little bit of northwest flow snow. Excuse me. You know this is up in West Virginia, and I think there could be some down in North Carolina as well. It's not a big northwest event, but there's definitely some snow. The air is pretty cold here. And we get another strong system that starts moving our way by Thursday night into Friday. Look at this system. There's a lot of snow with that. And this is just one model, by the way. This is a GFS model. It actually shows a nice low pressure developing along the coast and a big shield of snow on the backside. So this is going into next weekend. I'm talking Friday the 10th and 11th. So Friday this would probably start. And as we go even further, you'll see this thing cranks up. And there's some pretty good snow on the backside of this thing, even into the areas that we don't normally see snow down in South Carolina and North Carolina, and then it moves off the coast, but there's tons of cold air behind us. So not only we get probably some snow if the storm materializes, which is a big if, but it does look like a cold pattern. And with the stormy pattern we're in as well, at some point one of these is going to sync up. So if you want something to look forward to, again, it's just amazing the way February's kind of started here. We've had the cold and snow on the weekends, even though we've had these incredible thawing type setups in the middle of the week. So skiing in the southeast, you know what it's like. It's all about timing. If we can time these things out and get cold air, at least sporadically, every 3 or 4 days, still makes conditions really good for skiing. And even on those warm days in the middle of the week, believe it or not, with the great base that's built up, skiing isn't half bad, and the crowds are a little bit less. So if you get a chance to go in the middle of the week, I highly recommend it. So good news, more cold air for this weekend, more cold air for next weekend, and possibly, don't get our hopes up yet. We're talking maybe 10 days out here, maybe a more significant winter storm by this time next week when I do my update. So a week from today, we'll have something probably really to talk about. Hopefully, we start getting excited by the end of the weekend. I may have to do another update Sunday into Monday after the Super Bowl, getting us psyched up for the next weekend. So hope you have a great weekend. Hit the slopes if you can. Should be great conditions again this weekend. It'll be much colder, so I know it was a warm week, but we will see those cold temperatures return. And again, as always, think snow because it is looking good right now across the southeast.